All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're cracking open King, Warrior, Magician, Lover by Robert Moore and Douglas Gillette. And we're going to treat it less like a dense textbook and more like what it really is, the ultimate player's guide for the male psyche. So let's just jump right in by framing this whole thing as a game. The idea here is that deep inside you, there are these four incredibly powerful avatars, almost like four fundamental character classes that you can develop and play as. And the goal? It's not about picking just one. It's about becoming a master of all four.
But before you can master any of the advanced classes, you've got to get through the tutorial level. And the book argues that a lot of men are basically stuck playing with their starter character, a way of being that it calls boy psychology.
So the core mechanic of this whole game is all about leveling up. It's about making that conscious jump from the kind of reactive, chaotic patterns of boy psychology to the centered, powerful energy of man's psychology. It's the difference between being a player who's just controlled by events and a player who actually shapes them.
Now, this is what's so cool about this idea of progression. You don't just delete your level 1 character to get to level 10. Maturity isn't about erasing the boy inside. Not at all. It's about building on top of those energies, integrating them to create a much more complex, stable, and powerful character build.
Okay, so with that tutorial level complete, let's meet the main event, the four core character classes of the mature masculine. These are the advanced avatars you're really aiming to unlock and develop.
First up, and right at the center of it all, is the king. I want you to think of this avatar as the central operating system for your entire personality. The king's main job is to bring order, both to your inner world and the world around you. He's the source of that calm, centered, powerful integrity.
The king's ultimate ability, his, ultimate, is what the book calls generativity. And this isn't just about creating stuff. It's about taking real, genuine joy in watching others thrive. A well-played king doesn't just build his own kingdom. He blesses and empowers everyone in it.
And this quote, man, it just nails a really crucial point from the book. The energy of the kingship, the role itself, is so much more important than any one person who holds it. It's a force that has to be protected and renewed, because without that central organizing principle, the whole kingdom inside you falls apart.
But, of course, just like in any good game, every powerful character class has its weaknesses, right? Its potential for corruption. In game terms, we can think of these as debuffs, or what the source material calls the bipolar shadow forms.
So, if that king avatar gets corrupted, it splits into two shadows. The active one is the tyrant. This is the guy who dominates, not from strength, but from this deep, gnawing fear of his own weakness. And the passive shadow? That's the weakling. He's the one who just can't or won't take charge. He gives up his throne and just lets chaos run wild.
And check this out. This slide is basically the character progression tree. The immature archetypes you start with, like the divine child and the hero, they're not bugs in the system. They're the foundational code. They provide all that raw energy that eventually gets upgraded into the much more mature king and warrior classes.
Okay, let's move on to our second avatar, the warrior. This is your action hero, the part of you that gets things done. The warrior provides the discipline, the clear-headed strategy, and what the book calls mindful aggression that you need to go out there, achieve your goals, and defend what's important.
And man, the warrior's shadow forms are just as destructive. The active shadow, the sadist, he uses that warrior energy not to build or protect, but to cruelly control and humiliate people. And then you have the passive shadow, the masochist, who has no boundaries and either can't or, deep down, won't defend himself.
And right here, we see the build schematic for our last two avatars. And just like before, you can see how the magician and the lover have their own developmental paths, evolving from their own starter characters. In this case, the precocious child and the Oedipal child.
So next up is the magician. This is your tech specialist, your wisdom class. The magician is the master of secret knowledge and complex systems. He's the strategist, the part of you that can step back, detach, and see the hidden patterns that everyone else misses.
Now, when the magician avatar gets corrupted, he becomes the cold, detached manipulator, using all that secret knowledge just to control people for his own gain. And his passive shadow is what the book calls the denying innocent one, the guy who plays dumb, pretending he knows nothing to avoid taking any responsibility.
And that brings us to our final avatar, the lover. This is your connection class. This is the energy that governs your passion, your empathy, your intuition, your deep sensory relationship with the whole world, with art, with nature, and with other people. It's the source of all your vitality.
The lover shadow is the addict. He's endlessly chasing a feeling, a sensation, some kind of connection, but it's never enough. He's never satisfied. And the passive shadow is the impotent lover, who just feels totally disconnected, numb, and literally unable to feel any real passion or joy in life.
So, here's the most crucial point of all. The endgame isn't about maxing out just one of these classes. You can't just pour all your skill points into being a warrior or a magician. The real goal, the final boss, is creating a balanced build.
Look, a man in his fullness needs all four of these energies working together in harmony. You need the king to give you order, the warrior to take action, the magician to think clearly, and the lover to feel and connect. When you integrate all four, that's when you create a complete, effective, and truly powerful self.
So here it is, your official player's cheat sheet. You've got the 4 core classes, what they do, and the active and passive shadow states, those nasty debuffs to really watch out for. This is basically the map to the entire game world of your own psyche.
So as we close this out, the real question isn't, which one of these am I? The real question to ask yourself is, which of my avatars needs my attention right now? Which part of my inner team do I need to send on a quest to level up? That is the real adventure.